So some will say, well, then, you know, this is actually a trap. It's a setup. No, they're opportunists. When they start losing one angle, they jump to the other side. They're divide and conquer. It's full spectrum dominance. They fund ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They fight ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They fund the Arab Spring, then they fight the Arab Spring. Order out of chaos. But why we're winning is we're educating the public that there's really a corporate world shadow government who, by the way, wants you to be impoverished and controlled towards a eugenics, phased out, soft kill. That's not rhetoric. That's the truth. You're seeing it all manifest. Everything I've told you, word for word happening, because it's a game plan, not my opinion. I wish I could say I just envisioned all this and I was psychic. That's not the case. Everybody's got a sixth sense, but it goes beyond that. You got to know what you're looking at historically. And it's all here. You just got to admit it's happening, then we can beat it. But the good news is we're admitting world government, we're admitting it's totalitarian, we're admitting it's far removed, illegitimate, and lying. Once you get to that point, only dictatorship can keep them in place, and those always fall. And the EU's now announcing a military dictator. They're actually saying, prepare for us to take over your governments. I mean, this is sensational. It really is dizzying. Dizzying is the word. When I sit here every day at night, getting ready, doing research, during the morning, getting ready, doing research, coming in, looking at hundreds of news articles that they've printed off, many of which I haven't seen, trying to just gauge it all, and then going out and seeing the billboards and hearing the radio and seeing the entertainment TV shows and hearing people talk and seeing propaganda at every level, and to see people captured in a scientific, technotronic technocracy. That's the elite's name for worldwide scientific dictatorship. Just Google Davos calls for scientific dictatorship. You'll get articles with them saying that 6 years ago. Club of Rome wrote about it in 1963. I used to go to the microfilm at the UT library and pull this stuff out just to come read it on air, and people didn't believe me in 1996, 97, 98. So I said, I'm going to try to have a webcam that's good enough to show people these newspaper printouts and these documents. Because back when they thought they had the public in the 60s, man, they were like, we're going to have UN troops on the streets. We're going to take all the guns. We're going to end the family. This was in the Washington Post. We're going to have 10 FEMA regions. I wish I could find that. It's somewhere in my archives, which is a bunch of storage facilities. We try to consolidate from like 7 of them down to 3. And the actual New York Times. Actual New York Times. I had the microfilm of it, and then her name was Bernadine Smith. She ran the Second Amendment Foundation out in California. That lady mailed me the actual New York Times from 1937 with the 10 regions of FEMA. Folks, they didn't set that up till 1979. I mean, these people aren't playing around. And I'm sitting here. Here's the allegory. Here's the parable. Here's the parallel. Here's the comparison. It'd be like if I was a police detective and they get a call about a home disturbance. The police go out there and a guy has killed his wife with a meat cleaver. They're going to go ahead and take him into jail. He's going to get charged with probably capital murder if it's premeditated. They go ahead and search the house. They go down in the basement and they see photos of all these women tied up. They're going to start pulling the floor out, and they find 25 bodies. I mean, there's not a debate. They found 25 bodies. And the neighbors, though, in most cases have Stockholm Syndrome or just are in total denial. They'll never believe Harvey or Bob was such a nice man. And I'm sitting here with all the admitted evidence. I mean, it's out in the open. The EU is unelected. I'm going to say it again. The EU is unelected. The United Kingdom didn't vote to enter it. I'm going to cover this in the next segment. I have the article right here. It's now threatening to dissolve, and Kurt's article's good, but it just should be bombshell. EU moves to dissolve member state militaries. Goes into full coup mode. Dissolving, I mean, it's like in Star Wars Episode 4 when Governor Tarkin, can we cue that up off one of the movie clip sites? Governor Tarkin walks into the Death Star, and Darth Vader comes walking in, and they're arguing about how to control the local, star systems with the governors and with the local councils. And Governor Tarkin says, we're dissolving the regional councils. He says, that's impossible. How will the Emperor maintain control? With the regional governors in fear of this battle station, the equivalent of a nuclear weapon. We actually have them putting out an official memorandum saying you're not allowed to leave and we're going to dissolve your militaries. That's their response to 8 member nations saying they're moving for referendum. Within 2 days of that, they come out and say, we are preparing to take over your military, stand by. And then the mainstream media will go, it's totally normal. The EU showed up in the next few months. Oh, their commander. Oh, and guess who the EU commanders already are? NATO. Where Hitler couldn't succeed, NATO is about to succeed in a total European dictatorship. And just like Part 3, just like Russia was in a fight in World War I with the Germans and World War II, and the German globalists run the EU, now here it is again. They're busy starting a war with the Russians yet again. With a bunch of warmongering, weirdo, feminist women running the whole show at our Pentagon and State Department who've never been in combat, never been in the military, never killed anybody. And I'm not saying that because they can't commit atrocities and aren't tough. Oh, no. It's so dangerous to have people in the positions of starting wars who've never been in a war. Boy, that spells disaster. You got a bunch of weird, cocky women with big, giant 10-carat diamond rings at the State Department talking about murdering Russians in body bags and swaggering around. That's crazy. Lord Monckton is not just the champion globally exposing man-made global warming and the carbon tax as a world government totalitarian fraud and taxation scam. He is undoubtedly the chief long-term resistor of the EU dictatorship. You could say that Nigel Farage is now the leader of the anti-EU tyranny movement. And what's so exciting about this is they only began to be Eurosceptics, Monckton 30-something years ago, but Farage 25 years ago. They've only been really politically active 20, and they've already are the fastest growing party, not just in the UK, but Europe, and just had one of the biggest political victories for sovereignty. And what this is going to lead to, it's the equivalent of the Declaration of Independence, July 4, 1776. The will to do this, having the leadership, being in the right, will win the war. We're in the right, we can't lose. And this is as big as 1776 in the whole chain of Magna Carta, 1776, this event. And I'm not just saying that. Even the globalists are saying this is one of the biggest events in history. We're going to explain why, but we knew this was coming. As soon as I saw this morning, I went, oh, my God, Lord Monckton has hammered this over and over again, a plan to get rid of nation-state armies. Kurt Nimmer wrote a story where the Polish papers have gotten the EU plan in their, quote, emergency reorganization for a, quote, superstate to now tell countries before they can leave, we're just going to take your military over. Why not? They already make all the laws and aren't elected. And then one of our writers put this report out, June 23rd, Kit Daniels ran in and brought it to my attention. He said, Alex, we wrote about this last week. Proposed EU army hidden from British voters until after Brexit. EU army proposal to remain hidden from British voters until day after Brexit vote. This was the day before the vote. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so unprecedented. When I'm reading the actual EU proposal, I can't believe it. It's like seeing Hitler invade France or Czechoslovakia or Poland. I mean, if you were alive at that time, you're seeing it unfold. And I just don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, I know they're criminals. I know they're tyrannical, but my God. Oh, 8 countries want to leave? We're taking over your militaries. What? I mean, we're going to arrest Germans that criticize open borders. We're going to arrest Swedes. We're going to Lord Monckton in just a moment. I'm not going to belabor this, but we're listener-supported. We're not sponsor-supported. 80% is listener. We don't just have the very best products at some of the lowest prices out there. We are the tip of the spear. Worldwide, InfoWars is reaching the most people when it comes to fighting the New World Order. Drudge overall reaches a lot more people in general, and he's fighting them as well, doing a great job. I'm not here bragging, hey, we're one of the biggest ships in this fight. I don't like being the main target. I can tell you right now, I want to see other people come on the stage. But look, the Democratic platform now officially calls to pass laws to arrest climate change deniers. That is Daily Caller in it today. That's now in the platform. They're wanting to arrest this man every day in the newspapers. Lord Monckton, they're coming for us. And people say, well, we better give up. No, when they hang up signs in Paris saying arrest Mark Moreno for his film, that's a badge of honor. When communists show up and stab people, that's a badge of honor like they did. This is, let me tell you, they're making their move. We're going to go to Lord Monckton in a moment. All I'm saying is we have the Hillary for Prison shirts. They sold out faster than I thought. Version 2, the collector's edition. We've got smalls and XXLs, and they're gone. There's a few hundred left. They're going to be gone. An 18-wheeler shows up, made right here in America. Wednesday, and of course, we sold out because they're 75% off when you buy a second shirt, 50% off when you buy one. They're at cost at $5. That's 75% off what they normally are. So if you want to get those, unfortunately, the 3 best-selling sizes are sold out. We'll get more of the new design in. It's very similar in a few days. Now, that doesn't really fund the operation. What funds the operation is the water filtration systems everybody needs at InfoWarsStore.com. 10% off promo code WATER. Nobody should be drinking the tap water. It's contaminated everywhere. It's one of the biggest causes of cancer. Look it up for yourself. We have the very best spectrum of about 8 different brands that I use personally. Shower filters, the ProMax, the Alexa Pures, all of them. 10% off promo code WATER on all those systems. And we have the Rolls Royce of deep cleansing back in stock. One of our best-selling products, but it's very hard to source these and have them at California standards, which are basically almost impossible to pass, but we've done it again. And we have 20% off Deep Cleanse. That's only running for 2 more days. It's got concentrated zeolites, organic cilantro, organic milk thistle, fulvic acid, and many other cleansing ingredients, Shilajit, you name it, that are known to pull toxins out of the body. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com. But this is such an incredible juncture. You see our reporters about to be, well, they're actually in the valley now, where they admit the UN is running a program bringing refugees in from Latin America with no background check, with TB, and they had been on the news. They're illegal. They're loaded on buses and shipped to Democratic Party facilities around the country to be given ID cards. That's on ABC News like it's a good thing. I mean, what you see in Europe's happening here by stealth. So our reporters are down there. Our reporters are at Bilderberg. Our reporters are out in California when folks are being attacked. I mean, they're everywhere. We're building a true news organization, and it's your support and spreading the word that's doing it. So censorship's coming in. They're trying to hand the internet over to the UN right now. Even though the United States and England, as usual, built it, they are handing it over to the UN and the EU right now. I mean, that's in the Associated Press. Internet being handed over to globalists. I mean, see, the move is happening now. Now, I'm going to give Lord Monckton the floor until we end this hour. I appreciate him coming on very, very short notice. His website is scienceandpublicpolicy.org, and he's published many of the top peer-reviewed papers in the world. Some of the top read, in fact, the top read paper on climate change in the world is his paper. That's subscribed to by tens of thousands, and they want to arrest him for that. That is in the news today. So a true hero. He doesn't want to hear that, but we need to recognize that, you know, the George Washingtons of our time, and they're people like Nigel Farage. They're people like, and you can talk about other folks in England that fought tyranny, and expanding on that. You see Trump coming out. You know, Trump, Farage, 2016. A lot of folks are saying globally, just as leadership. And our countries and our nations and our shared histories coming back together, something the globalists hate, our national flags coming back out, political correctness under attack. This is just a great time. But they're counter-striking with the most totalitarian garbage I've ever seen. And it is now here, the EU, if you just joined us, openly announcing that they're going to go into member states and take over their militaries and not let them leave. They're using the word superstate. Lord Monckton, you predicted it. It's now documented. I am faint of breath. I mean, I quite frankly... I don't get butterflies when I'm speaking to a crowd of 10,000 people. I have butterflies right now because I just feel the history is happening.
History was indeed made by the British people on the 23rd of June, which is already being called Independence Day here in the UK. And you might like to know, Alex, that the film Independence Day Resurgence was very carefully timed so that it premiered in the UK on the 23rd of